Hi there, in this video I will quickly go over the tweak tool and how you can use the histogram and the levels to alter your PBR maps and create a custom look for your material. I've prepared some materials to get started, and let's get started with the first one. If you're done with generating, you can just click this tab and it will collapse, and then we can focus on the tweak section. On the bottom of your viewport you have all these maps that you can click, and then you can isolate them and look at them individually, and also change them individually. Well, first of all, a technical overview of this histogram thing. What you see in this histogram is a representation of the image itself. For this image, you have like this dark blue color, this light blue color, and this white color. And here you can see it in the histogram. This first spike is the dark blue. Then you have the bigger spike, which is the lighter blue, which is most of the image. So that's why it's the biggest spike. And then you have the white spike here. And what you can do with your in levels is you can quickly say, for example, hey, I want to make everything that this is your black point. Everything before this line here will become black. So the dark blue will become black. It's not one-on-one because this is a desaturated representation of the image, and there was some color in here, but it gives you a very good image, and well, the rest you can do with your eyes while isolating the maps. Same goes for your out levels. You can, if you bring everything on the right side of the white in level, then everything becomes white at some point. The middle button is for the gamma. That you can use to make your whole image darker or lighter, but you won't change your black and white points. So it's very handy to just like alter the overall feeling of your image or your map. Then we go to the out tool, and that just basically says like what the out values are of like the in values that you specified here. Out black is now 100% black. If I would move that to halfway, then you see that the darkest pixels in the image are always 50% gray. And the same goes for the white. If you want to make the whole image darker, then you see that white is now like gray. If you move them together, then the whole image is gray. So that's what the out values do. In the color section, you also have some other controls. You can change the hue, which is the color. So for example, if you want to make this thing green, then I'll just like slide it towards a green, and maybe you want it a little bit more lighty and minty. That's that you can change the overall lightness with the gamma. So you can move it a little bit here to make it look a little bit fresher. And then with the saturation, you can add some color or remove some color. So I think I will like this. It's nice and fresh. And then we can go to the next map, which is the metalness. It's completely black, and that's because standard the out values are black. So if I move this white one up, then you see that it will become visible. And what I can do is then just like say, well, I want everything that's not white to be non-metallic, and the white parts I want to be metallic. And you see there's a little bit of breakup here in the white. You can remove that by sliding this one a little bit to the left. But normally I like it. It's a little bit of breakup in your shader, and yeah, I like it. And then you see that those parts have become metal, and I think to illustrate that better, you would have to change a little bit the roughness. It's the same idea. Here you can just like lower the roughness a little bit, and then you see that you can clearly see that it's metal. And you can also change the overall, like the whole thing becomes a little bit less rough now. When you isolate the map, then you can see that maybe you want some breakup in these light blue parts, and that you can do with the contrast, like move this a little bit here and then this a little bit even more there, and then you can see that you can get a little bit of more breakup in these light blue areas, which is nice. Then we go to the displacement tabs. Well, that is just basically how much displacement you have on your shader, and the scalar 0 value is the value from where the pixels will be scaled. So if you put it in the middle, then you see it moves both up and down. If you move it to the top, then you see that it only moves down. And if you move it to the bottom, then you see that it only moves up. So let's put it somewhere like here, somewhere like this, and then we have something that we like. Last one is the normal map. That just has the more normal map scale. Standard is 1, so you can increase it to get a little bit more breakup in the surface, or decrease it to make it more flat. I think it's a little bit too glossy now, so I'll move this one a little bit higher, and then, well, you can get something like that. I've also prepared another material, and what I want to do here is make this metallic, but also give it a little bit of a rough feeling that you have some breakup on the surface. I'll collapse these thing again. And then I'll just go to the metalness section, set the out value to 1, so the metalness kicks in. And then what you can do is by this histogram, you can just like move the in sliders around the histogram. So you get a nice contrast, and then maybe you can use the gamma to like make it all a little bit more white. And again, to see the metalness better, you want it to be a little bit more glossy. Same thing here, move your in values around the histogram to get it nice and contrasty, and then you can move your sliders to set the values you want. So if you move them more to the bottom, it becomes more glossy, and if you move them more to the outside, it becomes less glossy. Maybe something like this is nice. So you have a little bit of a metal surface somewhere with some breakup. You can also invert these out values, by the way, so you get a more different feel. And then you can also play with the gamma to say a little bit like how you want the contrast. Maybe I'll up the normal scale a little bit. Add some displacement. Just a little bit. And then you have a nice shader with some breakup. So that's basically how the tweak section works. Thank you.